It's really early. It's like 6:15 in the morning. I've been up since 4. So I figured before I get everybody up ready for school and whatnot, I would go ahead and make a vlog. So, yeah, you're lucky I'm dressed. Still have leftover makeup from church yesterday, but I'm not worried about it. Anyway, so I've gotten a couple of questions and seen a couple of situations that have popped up, and I thought I would go ahead and talk about them. I got asked, how do you deal with intense pain? Um, really, I just grit my teeth and it depends on where I am. Like, for most of the stuff with Daddy and I'm usually on the bed, so I bury my head in a pillow or I grip the mattress. Um, but if it's to the point that you're in a lot of pain repeatedly and it's not pain that you like, you need to say something. Um, because yes, intense pain can be wonderful, but intense pain can also be damaging. So you don't want to overdo it. Um, if it's a good intense pain and you want to know how to deal with it, then your body should be processing it as pleasure or some variation thereof, and it should be pretty easy to deal with. If it's a bad pain, you need to stop because that's when people get hurt, there are injuries. I mean, I've even learned my lesson. I was with a dominant one time, and he had my wrists uh, tied to a dowel rod that was also tied to my ankles, and it was like my ankles were pulled back, so everything was like right here. But he didn't. I'm not sure if he tied it incorrectly or if it was just my fault. I'm pretty sure it was fault on both parts. But it cut into my wrist on this hand so bad that I ended up having nerve damage, and I still do. So, yeah, you got to be careful with that. I've also been asked, is it normal to feel after effects after a scene? Well, yeah, it's very normal. I mean, if you get beaten during a scene, or flogged or whipped or whatever, there's gonna be after effects, and your dominant should be doing aftercare because that's one of the most important parts. They put you in this situation, they send you into subspace or whatever you want to call it. They send you on this journey, then they need to bring you back down. It's like cooling down after a workout. It needs to be done. You can't just untie somebody and say, okay, get the hell out. That's not being uh, caring. And now I'm not saying that they have to bring you bottled water on a platter with roses and all that kind of crap, but they need to untie you. They need to let you cool down. They need to make sure you're okay. They need to ask you, do you need water? Because some of us can get dehydrated. Do you need a warm bath, or are your muscles cramping? If there was skin broken, do you need anesthetic put on it? That whole thing. That there needs to be aftercare. Um, I also had a comment on one of my vlogs when I was talking about what books to read, and someone had commented they don't believe The Loving Dominant is very useful. I have to politely disagree. The Loving Dominant may not be useful in the roadmap sense, but the Loving Dominant does hit on a bunch of points, on thinking points, things you need to keep in mind, things you need to keep an eye out for. It's more of a theoretical approach rather than a literal how-to book. Um, I mean, if you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but I wanted to defend my stance. Um, Also, something I've seen and have had to deal with before is how do you deal with um, people's baggage? Because everybody's got a little bit of baggage. It may be a little bitty handbag carry on, or it may be a complete 50-piece set of baggage. Um, I've heard several sayings that I really like. You want to look for someone whose baggage goes with yours, or you want to look for someone who uh, is willing to help you unpack your baggage. And that's really what happened with my daddy and I, because we both came into our relationship with a crap ton of baggage. I had baggage from previous relationships, I had baggage from my previous marriage, I had baggage from the relationship I was in when he and I met. He had baggage from his previous relationships, from his previous marriage, from his relationships between us. I mean, we had a lot of baggage, but you have to work through it and you have to be patient. Patience is a virtue, and it's one of the biggest things that you really need to have when dealing with someone with hangups, because some of us don't get over them quite as quickly as others do. Some people can just brush it off, move along, and they're fine. Others of us will sit and stew and try to figure out what happened, what we did wrong, where we went wrong, what could we have done better. And until we realize that it's not all our fault, yeah, some of it may be our fault, but some of the fault lies with the other person or people involved, no one's going to move on. And while I've been on both sides of the fence, I've been the person dealing with someone who has a lot of baggage. Um, that's where the patience comes in. Get them to talk to you. Try to get them to open up about it. Sometimes talking about it will help. Sometimes you just have to let them be and let them deal with it in their own time. On the other side of the fence, if you're the one dealing with the baggage, you need to be honest with the other person and say, look, this is what happened to me. um, I've got this, and this hang up. You're going to have to be patient. Sometimes if you talk, it helps. Um, Reassuring the other person also helps a lot on the part of the person without the baggage. Let them know that you care about them, that you're going to be there for them, no matter what they decide. Uh, be the positive inspiration. Um, Although it can be very downtrodden sometimes because they seem to pull away and they put up walls, and it seems like an insurmountable mountain to get over. Um, but sometimes if you're just patient and you're there for them, sometimes it'll work out. That's how it happened with my daddy and I. I had to deal for 2 years with him living in Ohio, and um, I was in a I'd already separated from my husband, and I was in a quasi unhealthy relationship with the person after him. And it was just, there was so much that we both had to deal with, that, we were there for each other and we were friends and we vented and bounced ideas off of each other, whatever, and it just kind of grew from there. Now, that's not to say that there weren't times that I was extremely aggravated and wanted to start punching people in the faces because of crap that was going on that I had no control over, but he got the same way. It sucks, but sometimes that's just what you got to do. You got to deal with it and slog through the crap to get to the prize at the end. So yeah, I think that's about all I've got to ramble on about at this point, because it's like 6:30 and I need to go wake up the boy and send him off to school. So I might do another one later today. I'm not really sure. Um, yeah, there goes my alarm clock. Anyway, I'm trying to get the Halloween stuff done because that's a huge undertaking. So, but I'm gonna try to put out more regular vlogs. So y'all send me questions, comments, rate, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great morning and a great day. Mwah. Love y'all. Bye bye.